Hello and welcome to this webinar dedicated to whole Liberty Box. When you are a professional in the printing market, like a reseller or a vendor, and you use a multi-tenant print fleet management solution, you need to meet the challenge of managing data collection agents in SMB environment. The Liberty Box is the solution to optimize your operating costs around data collection agents. And this is what we will show you during this webinar. Hello, my name is Sébastien, and I am Dimitri's assistant. And the spare time I have left, I am the CEO of the company.
Hello, my name is Dimitri, and I'm a technical consultant on the Capax Print Fleet Management solution.
So first of all, to talk about the history of the Liberty, we released a first version of the Liberty Box in 2017, then a second one in 2019, but we realized that there were still many questions about this box and the benefits it could bring. So this is what motivated us to create this webinar and the study around the data collection as agents we will share with you. The Liberty Box is a hardware agent entirely created by Blumega. It is a possible option of the Capax solution to collect the data. And first of all, I think it's important that Dimitri will remind us the general principle of operation of the Capax solution. Thank you, Dimitri.
Thank you. To be able to use Capax, we will create a SaaS environment in our cloud. This environment will be accessible through a web page in which you will be able to manage and supervise all your devices. With Capax, you will have the possibility to access a community database, but also to make integration with third-party software through APIs or CSV files. As Sebastian explained, the main part of Capax is a data collector agent that you will have to install at your end customer. You can have as many accounts, agents, or devices as they want in Capax. Today, we have servers that host more than 60,000 devices. There are two kinds of agents in Capax. The first one is a software agent that can be installed only on Windows operating system. And the second one, of course, this is the Liberty Box. And it is the one we are going to discuss today. In both cases, all traffic can be done through the HTTPS protocol.
So, thank you, Dimitri.
My pleasure.
Capax was launched in 2009 with the objective to help the professional in the printing market to reduce their operational costs, to manage their customer base, and also to enable them to offer new services to their customers. In practice, in real life, we realize that an important issue to optimize operation cost is the management of data collection agents itself, especially in SMB environment, by generating intervention on collection agents who disconnect. So the problem is not the data collector agent itself. The difficulties come from a technical environment to welcome the agent and from the fact that not few small companies have in-house IT skills. This challenge is true for all the print fleet management software. So rather than evading this problem by saying this problem is not with us, but with your customers, we ask ourselves how to improve this. And one day we saw an electronic card come out of the oven of Albin Lescoat's kitchen. Albin is our general manager and the the technical director who managed the development of the CAPAX software. And this day, the alpha version of the Liberty Box was born. Today, there are more than 12,000 Liberty Box in production, and recently the Liberty Box has been certified to be sold in the four corners of the world. So today, we will tell you a little bit more about what Liberty is and what the benefits of deploying Liberty are. Knowing that we relied on a study we conducted recently with few partners, since we are now fortunate enough to have some insight on this subject. Okay, Dimitri, I'll let you explain what is the Liberty box data collector agent.
What is inside? One of the first solutions we saw was to use a Raspberry Pi and just install our software agent on it. But in reality, we realized that this was just shifting the problem. Indeed, the Raspberry Pi is nothing else than a computer that needs to be managed, secure, and maintained. Antivirus, firewall, update, like a computer. That's why we decide to create our own electronic box. And to be honest, this box is not at all smart because it has no operating system, but only a simple firmware stored on an EEPROM chip. All the collection intelligence has been moved to our Liberty server, which means that this box does not need antivirus. It has been designed to be plug and play and with a high level of encryption. Of course, it doesn't matter if you use the software agent or the Liberty Box, you will have the same result. You will use the SNMP protocol to collect the data, and all this information will be available on your environment. So to sum up everything, it's not a Raspberry Pi. It has no operating system, so no virus. It is completely autonomous. Updates are managed by our update server. With two Ethernet ports, which allow not to mobilize an Ethernet port on the network of your client just for the Liberty. We will see in more detail in the rest of this presentation, but it's also very simple to set up it.
Thank you, Dimitri. So know that you know what you have inside the Liberty, what is the Liberty boxes. I come back to the challenge of managing data collector agents. The idea is to find the right balance between the time spent by the technician team on these agents and the quality of the service provided. There is three essential points, which are first, the time spent by the team to install the agents. Second, the time of disconnection of the service, which has direct consequences on the feedback of information and therefore on the quality of service to your customers, like access to the technical alerts, delivery of turners, of course. And third, the time spent by technicians reactivating agents who have logged off for reasons that are usually customer IT specific. So we tried to simulate the installation time of the agents in real life, in a SMB environment. So the idea here is not to debate about the 15 versus the 30 minutes installation time. Of course, that can be a subject of debate and can be different from regarding the customer's situation. But in fact, it is obvious that the implementation of a Liberty is simpler. You just need to find where to plug it in, while in the case of the software agent, you need to access the workstation in administrator mode. You sometimes need to install the prerequisite, while the Liberty just need a network and a power supply. Some partners have even set up some procedures to configure the Liberty boxes before visiting the client. And in this case, all the technicians or sometimes the customer himself has to do is plug it into plug the Liberty box into an electric outlet, and it's working.
Let's talk about the installation. As Sebastian explained, it is possible to configure a Liberty before the intervention or to do it on site, directly on the final customer. So we have two methods to configure Liberty. The first one is to use the Liberty Wi-Fi hotspot through a smartphone or tablet. And the second one is to use the public web page, the Finder Liberty, through a computer on the same network as the Liberty. The Finder will then scan his network to reveal the Liberty. Once discovered, it will be able to access to the Liberty web page and set up it. It's easy to set up it. You just need to enter the URL of the server and the puck code that we have previously generated in Capax, and of course, the IP address of the devices.
So it's very easy to install and configure the Liberty box. Thank you, Dimitri. To come back on the time of disconnection of the service, which has direct consequences on the feedback of information and therefore on the quality of the service provided to your customers, like technical alert or delivery toner cartridge. It can be seen that software agents can be subject to many causes of inactivity, such as simply a PC shutdown, a network disconnection or failure, changing the user's PC, a disconnection of, could be a disconnection of a Liberty, hardware disconnection, power failure, PC formatting, or an installation of the software agent by the user. These periods of inactivities do not always require a technical intervention on the agent, but they have an impact on the continuity of the service you provide to your customer and therefore on the satisfaction of your customers. The Liberty, you can see that the Liberty is less impacted than the software agents. So we were able to measure directly this on our servers. The connectivity rate of a Liberty is twice high as the software agents. Less than 20% of Windows data collector software agents are inactive for more than 24 hours, against only 10% of the Liberty. This is what we see on the server if you take a picture at any moment. It is factual. It comes from a representative sample of more than 85,000 printing devices. So third topic, and not least, to improve the operating cost around the data collector agents, it is the time spent by the technicians to reconnect the agents who have disconnected for various reasons, often related to the customer's infrastructure and its IT administration. According to the statements of the technical manager interviewed in the study, there is a significant benefits on this topic. 33% of the software data collector agent in SMB environment, here we are focused in the SMB environment, require at least one technical intervention per year compared to only 4% of the Liberty boxes. So on average, it takes, you have to know it takes SMB environment, it is one agent for 2.3 printing device. I let you imagine the number of interventions and the consequences this has on the technical service organization. So we have seen the 3 points of improvements with the Liberty boxes. And now you have here a case study which represents the benefits of the Liberty boxes at a reseller who has a fleet of 4,600 printing devices, which is 2,000 data collector agent in a SMB environment. So first, a reseller, on the first column, a reseller in this situation will have to install about 500 new data collector agents per year. And the Liberty box allows him to divide this time by 2. Regarding the second column, which is about the disconnection of the service, permanently, if you take a picture of the situation on the server, you will see that if you use a software data collector agent, 400 software data collector agents are disconnected more than 24 hours for only 200 Liberty boxes. So in this case, the Liberty boxes improves the service to your customers. Regarding the third column, probably the most important subject remains the number of technical intervention to reactivate the agents. In this case, the Liberty box has enabled our resellers to reduce the number of technical intervention by 88%. So, as you can see, the benefits to use the Liberty boxes are relevant. Now, perhaps the most important slide of the presentation to remember of this presentation is the sum up of our experienced reseller recommendation on the agent deployment and the use of the Liberty. Some of them generalize the Liberty on all the installation. Others use it only in some specific situation. But if there was one optimal rule to remember, it is this one. The client site does not have a server to host the software data collector agents. You use a Liberty. If you are in a specific environment, use a Liberty. After 2 incidents with the software data collector agent, where you need 2 incidents when you need to have a technical intervention, you use a Liberty. These 3 points are the best practice that we can share with you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Something cool. The Liberty can be customized, so you can customize the front face of the Liberty. You just need to send us your logo. We have some templates to help you to customize the Liberty. So do not hesitate to send us the logo, and we will be able to apply this logo on the front face of the Liberty.
Thank you all for watching this webinar. For more information, get in touch with our beloved major available partners. There is one in almost every region of the world. You can find all the contact details on the website Capax Manage. Thank you very much and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.